Welcome to the ITS UK Awards 2020, sponsored by VideoAlert, Unoptic, SRL and Cubic Transportation Systems. Thank you for joining us this afternoon stroke evening. Please welcome your host, the ITS UK President, Steve Norris.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this rather unusual version of the ITS Annual Awards. I'm looking at those pictures, reminds us that actually, even Coventry Stadium was a bit of an improvement on having to do all of this over the internet. But thanks to a great team at ITS led by the indefatigable Jennie Martin, but supported by Paul and Rukshan, Wendy, Rachel and Gerald. They've all helped to put this event together. And as I say, thanks to them, we can all enjoy the ceremony, albeit in a very, very different form. I mean, I'm not going to say a great deal at the start because I think we all understand that we're now living in quite exceptional times for which there's been no precedent in my long lifetime, and where clearly we're facing a whole unique set of challenges. And in transport, I never thought I'd hear my successors as transport ministers saying, please avoid using public transport. Simple as that. And the British people seem to have taken those words to heart. Volumes, as every single one of us know, are lamentably low. I took a trip to Glasgow the other day on the train and had a carriage to myself, which was tragic, frankly, because the costs involved in that sort of operation are just appalling when you consider where the revenue figures are. And it's, of course, pretty much the same on all the other modes of transport. Ironically, of course, we're back to pre-COVID levels of car travel because people are opting for what they regard as a clinically safer mode. Now, in all of this, it's true to say that ITS has played a really important part, whether it's transport modeling, helping councils to redesign their road layouts, whether it's real-time passenger information, helping people to make journeys easier and more comfortable for them by getting them there to the stop in time, whether it's roadside technology that can detect differential road volumes, or so many other applications that are happening in the ITS space. But thanks to ITS, we are making the best of what's a clearly very, very uncomfortable world for anybody in the transport business or anybody trying to get around. And of course, ITS is even giving health professionals rapid updates on how lockdown measures are affecting traffic movements. So thank you for joining us this afternoon. Great to see so many people on the call. Thanks to our generous sponsors, Unoptic, SRL, Cubic and VideoAlert for stepping in to support the event financially and to make it possible. We'll hear from each of them during the course of the awards. Oh, and thanks finally to our freelance video editor, Luke, who's the guy who's doing all the clever stuff with the buttons. He's doing it from his studio in Salford, where I gather he's normally doing things like Strictly and The Voice and goodness knows whatever else. But hey, now he's doing a really prestigious event. He's doing the ITS Awards. So let's get on with those awards. But first, a message from the first of our sponsors, Unoptic.
I'm pleased to be involved with this year's ITS UK Awards, both on behalf of Unoptic, but also in my role as chair of the Enforcement Forum. As we all know, 2020 has been a most unusual year, so it's great to see the number and the quality of the entries for this year's awards was so high, and my warm congratulations go out to all of the worthy winners who have demonstrated what the UK is capable of in the field of ITS. Unoptic's involvement in ANPR-based enforcement and monitoring solutions has given me an insight into how our marketplace has rapidly changed to meet both immediate and long-term change and challenges. As long as the members represented by ITS UK continue to innovate and come up with intelligent solutions that benefit the transportation field, the UK will continue to be a dominant global ITS player. I hope you all enjoy the awards, and congratulations again to all of the winners. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Jeff. Great to see Unoptic incidentally doing so well. Our first award this evening is for our inclusive mobility Award. It recognises solutions that help vulnerable travellers, such as the elderly and the disabled, move around more easily. And we have 2 nominations. They are Brian Matthews from the University of Leeds and the ADAPT product, which is Grid Smarter Cities. And the winner, we should have a drum roll. I apologise, but I'm afraid the guy with the drums is on furlough. But the winner is Brian Matthews of the University of Leeds. And sadly, Brian can't be with us right now because he's teaching, but his successor as chair of the Inclusive Mobility Forum, Chris Burett, is going to accept the award on his behalf.
Hello everyone, and I'm delighted to accept this award on Brian's behalf. It's very fitting to acknowledge his huge contribution to improving the travel experience, not only for disabled people, but as so often happens, when you make it better for disabled people, by implication, it's better for all transport and all modes. So thank you very much, Brian. We look forward to your continuing input, to much needed input to the Inclusive Mobility Forum. Congratulations.
Well, well done to Brian, and thanks to Chris for accepting on his behalf. Now, our second sponsor of today's event is Video Alert, and before the next award, let's hear from them.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dave Wearmouth, Business Development Manager at Video Alert, and we're delighted to be sponsoring this year's ITS UK Awards. ITS UK is performing an increasingly important role as both local and central government attempt to resolve the numerous challenges facing both public and private transport operators in these difficult and rapidly changing times. These awards are an opportunity to celebrate the best of the best, highlighting solutions and companies that are helping create the future of intelligent transport. As part of the Marston Holdings Group, Video Alert continues to provide industry-leading CCTV monitoring and enforcement solutions. Our digital video software platform supports the widest range of traffic and congestion management, monitoring and enforcement applications, as well as supporting clean air and low emission zones. These solutions form a key part of the Marston Group-wide portfolio of design, build and enforce services, which are critical to enabling our clients to continue their daily transport operations, particularly during the current pandemic and the need for social distancing. Across the group, we are using our wealth of experience to help public and private transport agencies implement the right strategy to keep the country moving. On behalf of all of my colleagues in the Marston Group, Video Alert sends its congratulations to all of the suppliers shortlisted for awards here this evening, who continue to deliver ongoing innovation at this critical time of change in the world of ITS. Thank you.
Well, thanks, David, for those very appropriate words. You're absolutely right in what you say. Our second award, as I said earlier, is for the innovative use of technology. The nominations are AIM-Sun with Siemens Mobility, Oxfordshire County Council and EarthSense for network emissions, vehicle flow and the management adjustment project. Secondly, Transport for Greater Manchester with Viva City and Immense Simulations for the Smart Junctions initiative. And thirdly, Transport for the West Midlands for connected and automated mobility services. And drum roll, the winner is Transport for Greater Manchester with Viva City and Immense Simulations for the Smart Junctions initiative.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. Very surprising. But, thank you very much to those on the panel who've selected the project to win the award. It's been a pleasure to work on. I'd just quickly like to thank everyone at Vivacity Labs and Immense who've worked incredibly hard on the project. And you know, it's what I consider to be quite a groundbreaking project in terms of signal control. It's quite clear that authorities must adapt, especially in current circumstances when travel and the future is uncertain, and we now need more than ever to be able to effectively manage these transport networks in what is going to continue to be a changing landscape going forwards.
Thanks very much indeed, David. And can I say not only congratulations to the Greater Manchester team for a great project, but well done to our other entrants as well. They're all three of them really very, very useful projects indeed. Just before our next award, let's hear from our next sponsor, which is Cubic Transportation Systems.
Hi, I'm Krishna Desai, Marketing Manager at Cubic Transportation Systems, and we're thrilled to be one of the sponsors for ITS UK Awards, where we get to celebrate some exciting projects, innovation, and passionate people that have managed to create successful pilots and projects even during this pandemic. One thing that Cubic is really passionate about is bringing private and public modes of transportation together. As we saw during COVID, at the early stages, public transport operators were urging travellers not to use trains and buses or tubes to keep them safe. They said that only essential workers and essential travel was permitted, and they were trying to encourage more people to use the road networks. And as we come through this pandemic and we're seeing more and more car users on the roads and seeing this trend increase, we're going to get to a point in time where we will be reaching gridlock. And then you'll see the traffic managers and the TMCs encouraging more people to use other modes of transport so that we can start moving people more effectively. This relies on collaboration between both modes of transportation. And it's time we started to see not people as making one journey on one mode, but across all of the different transport networks, and providing a holistic, cohesive transport network that is running at optimum. And one way to do this is through incentivization. Incentivizing people to travel at certain times and certain modes that is benefiting the network as a whole is going to become quite paramount as we evolve and continue to use transportation to get to people where they need to get to. And I'm excited about this collaboration between not just Cubic's technologies and our partners, but with also other providers within the industry, and seeing what we can come up with to work more in unison and more collaboratively together. Let's break those silos down and start working as one unit to provide one clear solutions for the industry as a whole and move forward to make ITS as great as it can be within the UK. And let's celebrate today with all of these wonderful projects and technologies that will be coming across from the awards and celebrating with some of the winners. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks very much indeed, Krishna. And of course, we were going to be spending our ITS away day at Salford's, the Cubic headquarters down in Surrey. And of course, because of events which are beyond our power to control patently, that's going to have to wait until next year. But we look forward to doing that, as I say, next year in Salford's. The next award is for Project of the Year, arguably one of the most prestigious. And the nominations are Atkins, BT and Transport for the North, with the Transport for the North Major Road Monitoring Project, Highways England and I3P for the Connected Autonomous Plant Roadmap, and the Transport Technology Forum delivered by Arup with the DFT and White Willow Consulting on understanding travel patterns during COVID-19. Part of the response to COVID-19, this project helped understand how the lockdown had impacted traffic across England, as well as being able to continue to monitoring traffic movement when restrictions were relaxed or imposed. Although the DFT is well informed about traffic on the strategic road network through Highways England, it's got limited visibility on local roads where much of the data is actually being held. So this project demonstrated how the industry can come together to coordinate a collaborative front with local authorities and commercial data suppliers to collect, process and visualize over 16 million travel movements during the lockdown period and beyond. And that's because the winner is the Transport Technology Forum delivered by Arup with the DFT and White Willow Consulting.
Wow, okay. Wasn't expecting
there we go.
Well,
Graham.
Congratulations to everyone else who was nominated. I think from my perspective, this project wouldn't have been possible without the goodwill of the ITS UK and Transport Technology Forum communities. So a big thank you to everyone out there, be it local authorities, companies, and other data owners who responded to DFT's call for local traffic data all the way back in March. It's obviously been a very challenging time for everyone, including our industry, but I think this is a great example of a project where people have sort of rallied together during tough times to collaborate and deliver something that maybe previously wouldn't have been possible. So thanks.
Thanks very much, Graham. And my apologies to Paul. He was waiting for me to announce the winner and then he was going to say all that. And so there you go. That's the great advantage of Zoom meetings. But Graham, you stepped up to the plate there. You did it very, very well. Congratulations again to you, and congratulations to our other entrants this year, also producing really first-class product, and of which ITS can be proud. Okay, before our next award, which is the Eric Sampson Award for Early Careers, let's hear from our fourth sponsor of today's event, which is SRL.
Hello, good evening. I'm Richard Treadwin, Chief Executive of SRL Traffic Systems, and I'm delighted we are one of the sponsors of the prestigious ITS UK Awards. Congratulations to everyone for their achievements, particularly given the impact of the pandemic, bringing extra challenges on a day-to-day basis for all of us and our industry. With more vehicles on our roads each year, those responsible for keeping our roads safe and traffic moving have a constant challenge with maintenance and congestion. It is vital our industry uses innovation and intelligent transport systems that are both flexible and cost effective to meet these challenges, and it is why we are here tonight. Since 1997, SRL has continually invested in infrastructure and personnel to become a leading manufacturer and supplier of mobile intelligent transport system equipment. Recognised as an industry pioneer, SRL developed the UK and Republic of Ireland's first radio-linked portable traffic and pedestrian system, and in 2010 became the first and only OEM to hire its temporary traffic light products to the traffic and events management sectors on an equipment as a service basis. And our innovation continues. Now, in direct response to customer feedback, SRL will be launching new market-leading portable traffic light and CCTV products in the next few days, which will help to reduce traffic congestion and improve surveillance and site security for all. Extensive trials already show that our adaptive traffic light system, ADS, is up to 50% more efficient than standard traffic lights in reducing congestion, quickly clearing each queue on an every cycle basis. SRL has expanded into the high-speed variable messaging market in an exclusive partnership with Swarco in the UK and Republic of Ireland, and our smart high-speed messenger allows direct control of signs via local authorities' own UTMC platforms. So not only does it deliver outstanding performance, it also can be easily integrated with existing systems. SRL are delighted to celebrate all of your achievements tonight and be a sponsor of the ITS Awards. Good luck to everyone. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Richard. Very appropriate, again, if I may say so. The next award, what we call our Early Careers Professional Award, is named in honour of a former ITS chair and, of course, an ITS long-standing, our ITS ambassador at large, Eric Sampson. I first met Eric when I wandered into the Department for Transport as a new minister in 1992, before half the audience was born. And I met the man who basically put ITS on the map in the United Kingdom, the official who taught ministers the value of ITS, who fought for it, demonstrated it, and actually began a quiet revolution in the way that the Department for Transport looks at transport planning, which has led to ITS having the prominence that it does now. Remember when Alistair Darling, the Labour Secretary of State for Transport, for whom I may say I had an awful lot of time, writing in a white paper that the Labour government published that when people like me were in the department, everything was really about road building and road marking, with very, very little emphasis on technology, and that what would then have been about 20 years later, of course, the world had just changed dramatically. And much of that, in the UK at least, is due to Eric Sampson. Eric's also always taken a great deal of interest in new entrants into the market. And so, Eric, as far as this award is concerned, over to you.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you for the testimonial. It's both a personal and professional pleasure and honour to be linked to this award. It's for achievement by someone at an early stage in their career, and while success at this stage depends to an extent on the opportunities given, it also reflects how those chances are used and whether more opportunities are created. In making their selection, the judges were told to look for something extra, the X factor, the person with something different, someone who's going to be a star name before very long. Making that selection this year was tough as last year, as the field of 6 excellent nominations was formidable. But the judges managed it. Well, they almost managed it. They've taken the slightly unusual step of not only nominating a winner, but picking a highly commended entry as well. Steve will give you the award verdict in a moment, but can I tell both winners, I will somehow get a bottle of fizzy to each of you and also arrange a decent lunch, I hope with the 2019 winner, as we've not yet been able to be allowed in the same place at the same time. A highly commended entry has an inspiring story. For medical reasons, she had to leave school at 14. No GCSEs, decided when 25 to take evening classes to kickstart a career in engineering. After a lot of hard work, she secured transport planning apprenticeship at ACOM and is now an established modeller there. Her next step is to take a transport planning degree as an advanced apprentice. She is truly deserving of recognition, so the judges highly commend Lindsay Michelle Turner of ACOM. She is unable to accept in person. She's doing the one thing that Steve talked about earlier. She's actually using public transport and can't make a broadcast from it. But I do hope people will note the name. It's going to be a future star.
Thanks very much, Eric. I'm afraid I don't think we can hear from Lindsay, but let me just say in announcing this award that the judges said that this year's winner has developed special expertise in the application of technology to enhance the transport network operational performance and safety. She's future focused and uses her understanding and application of future trends to provide what is called fit for the future advice to clients. In a recent work developing Highways England's digital roads concept, our winner seamlessly integrated shorter term opportunities such as digital twin capabilities with longer term trends of connected and autonomous vehicles to enable clear benefits to be identified. Ian Patey, project director and immediate past chair, of course, of ITS UK, said, make a note of her name as she continues to inspire, impress, and make a difference. And that's coming from Ian. That's quite a commendation. The winner of the Eric Sampson Early Careers Professional Award 2020 is Steph Barton of WSP. Steph.
Wow, thank you so much. I honestly didn't expect this, so I haven't really prepared anything to say. I'd just like to say thank you so much to my line manager, Robbie. He always supports me and helps me so much. Thank you to everyone else at WSP, giving me amazing opportunities, kind of like you talked about. I was very lucky to be able to go and attend the ITS World Congress in Singapore, and that was an amazing experience for me. So thank you to the people that have helped me and supported me through this. Yeah, just thank you.
Well done, Steph. Yeah, well, we'll make a note of the name, and we'll expect to hear more of you in the future. Eric, do you just want to say a few words about both of our young professionals and about the way you see ITS in the future for these young people?
I think it's inspiring, and I'm delighted by the quality of the field, let alone the two winners. It's a tough time to get into industry and do something. And I repeat my earlier comments, to some extent, it depends on the opportunities given. And that's reflected in our prestigious Rees Hills Award, two gentlemen who were notorious for giving opportunities to younger people, even when things went wrong, as I can personally testify in the case of Neville Rees. I think in football terms, they say they think it's all over. Well, it isn't. I'd like to move to the other end of the career timescale to recognise someone who has made a lifetime contribution to the industry. And the nice thing is he doesn't know it's happening. Our winner's involvement with ITS was first seen publicly in the early 90s, when as Minister for Transport with special responsibility for London, national local roads and road safety, he pushed for the greater involvement of technology in policy making and welcomed the inputs he got from ITS UK. He was one of a handful of ministers speaking at the 1995 Yokohama World Congress, where he left a lasting impression on delegates for his breadth of wisdom and general approachability. He's chaired the Prince Michael International Road Safety Awards for many years. He's much in demand as a speaker on urban mobility, mobility as a service, and next city vision. Our winner's support has been pivotal to the success of ITS UK, where his contributions have embraced the private as well as the public sector. He's inspired both members and staff with his enthusiasm and his advocacy for implementation and innovation. He enjoys using his international contacts on the Society's behalf by opening doors and facilitating introductions. He has always been available to support the younger generation of practitioners, students, and apprentices. His involvement in the annual essay competition has been mentioned and is particularly noteworthy. As you probably all worked out, our Rees Hill winner this year is one of the most prominent ITS people in the UK, and his long and varied contribution make him a fitting winner to join the other recipients. Here's the President, your host, Steve Norris. Before I ask Steve for any comments on his surprise moment, I must share two examples of his international activities. In 1995, as mentioned, he was speaking at the Yokohama World Congress and held a run through in his office of what he was going to say. His private secretary told him she didn't think his joke, or one of his jokes, was very funny. Steve was mortified, but refused to change it. At the event, his comment, "The UK and Japan have a lot in common. We both drive on the right side of the road, which is the left," received loud applause and prolonged laughter. Today is the day he learns that we had a word in advance with the translators and explained that Norris' son was going to make a very funny comment, but in case it didn't translate, perhaps they could tell the audience just how funny it was. A couple of years later, the Verona Ministerial Safety Conference was moved to Rome as Pope John Paul was worried about road safety in his native Poland and wanted to generate a lot more interest in the subject. The various ministers duly appeared on the balcony of St. Paul's with the Holy Father. I was down below in the crowd, and the guy next to me said, "Scusi, signor, do you speak English?" I said, "Oh yes, I do." "Do you know who is the man in the long white cassock standing next to Steve Norris?" And that's our president. Steve, thank you. Congratulations.
Wow. Well, thank you, Eric. I mean, that is truly, I promise you, everybody watching, that's very, very unexpected indeed. In my script, which I've managed to completely screw over most of today, it says, Eric says some words off the cuff. And apart from the terrible joke about who's that standing next to the guy in white or whatever, you know, which was old when I was young, and that's a long, long time ago. All I can say is that I'm genuinely hugely touched. I mean, I would just say that I've been involved in the practical end of the business. I was one of the founders of ITIS Holdings, which we sold to INRIX. I was one of the founders of Speed Check Systems, which of course is now part of Genoptic. And I'm currently on the board of Cubic Corporation, who does the Oyster card and similar systems around the world. And because I've always believed that, you know, technology is the way forward in terms of transport solutions. And I've seen what it's done for the world over the last 20 or 30 years. I mean, I'm a great believer in urbanism. I believe that because cities are where people are going to increasingly live in the future, we have to make them places that are livable. And connectivity turns out to be one of the most important keys to livability. to get the people without jobs to the jobs without people, to get people to homes and family and friends, to places to shop, to enjoy recreation, to, generally speaking, live quality lives. And so, you know, ITS goes on being as important now as it ever was. And all I can say to you all is I'm hugely touched and I'm very, very, very grateful indeed. Normally you get this award when somebody sidles up to you and says, well, that'll be all, Steve, you can retire now. I have to warn you, my predecessor, the only previous president of ITS UK, died in office. I solemnly intend to do the same. Which, shocking news, I should just say thank you, Eric, for your words. And that does, everybody, conclude today's event. Shorter than usual, sadly a lot more sober than usual, but I hope that those who took the trouble to join us have enjoyed listening to our sponsors' words and certainly welcoming some great winners. Congratulations to everybody who entered. All of the entries, the judges, I've been assured, say were real quality entries, and that's great. I look forward very, very much to seeing everybody next year in real time, in a real place. Hopefully when we can all get together and this awful COVID nonsense is behind us. But that's all from me. And to close the event, let me just welcome the chair of ITS UK, Ryan Hood of TRL. Ryan.
Let me just say what a wonderful moment, Steve. That was clearly a surprise moment. And let me be the second person to congratulate you on for your lifetime of outstanding achievement. I knew this was coming, and over the weekend I decided to take a quick glance through your career, and I was truly blown away by the sheer volume and number of different roles you've had across the industry. In fact, I was left wondering what it is you haven't done within the industry. It's a truly phenomenal list of leadership positions, volunteer positions, and public service. It's if people would like to look at your career history, as I say, I think it's truly phenomenal. And looking at your current roles that you've just listed, clearly you are a very busy guy with a hectic schedule. So my thanks once again for your ongoing support as president of ITS UK. And I just wanted to do one more point about you, Mr. Norris. I said a lifetime of contribution. I noted you entered public service as deputy leader of Berkshire County Council in 1977, which incredibly was the year I was born. So to me, it truly is a lifetime. So Steve, you are, in my own opinion, and I'm sure everybody online, a very deserving winner of the award.
Okay.
My congratulations to all of the other winners, Steph, Brian, TFGM, Vivacity and Immense, TTF, DFT, Arup, White Willow, and of course all our nominees. Some great applications of advanced thinking, technology, personal contribution, ambition, and but in particular, I wanted to emphasize the public and private collaborations that were clearly there in the awards. And it's these three things of advanced thinking, ambition, and that public and private collaboration that I really think can drive us forward to a safer, cleaner, and more efficient transport system and drive our industry forward. And I hope that ITS UK can continue to help enable that. And just a point of reflection for a moment, if I may. What a year. Just to underline all the things that have already been said, not only do we have the traditional challenges of funding, maintaining and optimizing our ITS systems, we're dealing with, as Jeff Bezos might say, day one in a revolution in transport technology that I think is going to be here for the next 20 to 30 years. In addition to that, this was supposed to be the year of decarbonisation, but has turned out to be the year of decovidisation. And you add to that Brexit and the export agenda over the forthcoming years. So what a remarkable year. But when you look at that list, also you see the massive contribution that the ITS industry in our organisation can make. And therefore, given that, I'm hugely optimistic about the year ahead, despite some of the current challenges that we all see. And I can't leave without saying a thank you once again to Video Alert, Geloptic, SRL, and Cubic Transportation Systems. Without their support, we could not hold this event. And I would like to say a big thank you to all of our members. Without our members, our organisation doesn't exist. So I said I'd be around 3 to 4 minutes. Hopefully I've been so. And with that, I wish you all a merry digital winter and a happy digital new year, which I think is the current terminology. And I'll hand over to Jenny to close out. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ryan. So just a few words from me. Of course, congratulations to all the winners and to the shortlist and to the highly commended, all brilliant people and brilliant projects, brilliant work. And we'll work with you over the next few weeks to make sure that the messages about how great you are go out even further. And of course, the recording of this event will be a great help with that. I would always at this point thank Steve Norris, our president. It's great today to be able to say not just thank you, but also congratulations on the very well deserved award. Stephen's been our chairman, our president now for 20 years, give or take a few months. And he's absolutely correct. The first and so far, there's only been the two of the presidents. So his predecessor, Viscount Chelmsford, for those of you into trivia, there's a Rorke's Drift link there, which you'd enjoy looking up. But anyway, Viscount Chelmsford did very sadly die in service. He was a good age, I would add. But basically, we are not recruiting. I lead quite an unhealthy lifestyle. So, Stephen, I'm sure you look forward to attending my funeral, and we shall go out together, as it were. So I would also like to thank Ryan Hood, whom you just heard from, and Carla Jakeman, who is our vice chair. ITS UK relies very much on our chair and vice chair to keep us going in the right direction. To obviously those people are my bosses, and everybody needs a good boss, and I am very lucky to have such good bosses. So thanks to TRL and to Innovate UK for letting them spend the time with us as well. Absolutely essential to thank Paul Hutton and Luke Dudley, who have put this event together. If you've never seen one of these being constructed from the inside, then trust me, you have no idea. It really is, it's precision engineering up there with moon landing or something like that. And the fact that they managed to do it without Steve realizing that he was going to get the Rees Hills Award is just the cherry on the cake. They've done a fantastic job. So I'm sure we are far more complicated than Strictly Come Dancing or whatever. And second to last, thank you to all of you on the call. You're more or less all members of ITS UK. Without your contribution in the form of your subscriptions, there couldn't be a secretariat, which would mean there could be no ITS UK. And without the expertise and the time you put in, we would have no content. So we are so grateful to all of you. Together in our different ways, we create ITS UK, the voice of the ITS sector in the UK, and even though I say so myself, an important force for good in transport technology. And it only remains for me to again thank our very generous sponsors, Cubic, Jenoptik, SRL, and Video Alert. Thanks ever so much, guys and guyesses. Without you, this couldn't have happened. And gosh, I so much hope that in a year's time, we are doing this for real in a room, and I'll be able to raise more than a cup of tea to you. So have a lovely evening. Thank you so much. And thanks for joining us.